guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with my returning client and we are going to be doing some longer duck nails. So I did want to show you guys how I do my moon cut, and I'm going to use this same sanding band to achieve this look. Before doing the moon cut, I am going to shape these nail tips a little bit, and when you're shaping the duck nail tips, you want to kind of angle the file outwards when you're doing this so that you don't end up accidentally making these nails square. So basically, you want to apply more pressure where the nail tip starts versus where the free edge is. So you may notice that the pinky nail does have two nail tips on it, and this is because I actually needed to extend her nail just a little bit before applying the nail tip, or her pinky was going to be the shortest nail, and we did want long nails today. But going to this moon cut on a medium to low speed, I'm just very lightly going to start to apply some pressure in the center of the nail and very slowly start to curve this around. When you're doing this, you'll definitely want to move slowly. There has been times where I've accidentally filed too much. I nipped off a corner and then I had to start again. So just take your time when you're doing this. I definitely feel like when you're doing your duck nails, this adds the perfect touch to it versus it just being straight across. For my prep, as always, I'll first be going in with my dehydrator. Next, I'm going to use one coat of my Young Nails Protein Bond and one coat of my No Lift Primer. And yeah, I'm really not too much of a fan of these quote-unquote no-lint wipes. I do feel like once you start using them, they start to crumble down. Maybe I'm not using them right, but I did just lightly pat it on there to avoid any more lint getting on there. For my application today, I will be using some of my chisel acrylic powder. I do love their acrylic. For 2 ounces, it's $11, and y'all, this acrylic is super smooth. So for her pointer finger and for her ring finger, I am going to be using chisel colors, and for the other fingers, we'll be doing French tip. So I'm going to go in with my Young Nails Cover Flamingo. It's been so long since I've used like some colored acrylic to do a full nail, and I kind of feel like I was treating it as if it was nude acrylic powder. I personally think that there's a slight difference when you're applying these hard, like very pigmented core colors versus when you're using something a little more translucent. So I should have used a smaller bead in the cuticle area. Just in my opinion, I'm definitely gonna have to file this down a little more later on. Doing your application on the duck nails, once you get to the free edge, you will want to start to apply some more pressure. The goal is to get the free edge thin so that later on when we do the moon cut, it doesn't look thick and bulky. Also, I would love to get y'all opinion on this. So I was doing some nails. Of course, I was doing some nails, but some days ago when I was working, I had a new client. She came to get her hands and her feet done. She booked a 90s set, and when she came in, I was already like really in a good mood. She was late, but I was being understanding because I did move to a new location. So normally when somebody comes late, now instead of turning them around, I'll just have them get something shorter. And if they don't want something shorter, then we have to reschedule, just so that I gave you the option to stay, one, and two, I'm still not gonna jeopardize my next appointment. On this day, I was already in a good mood, like I said, so I really wasn't tripping too much about her being late. But she came late, and then when she sat down, I realized that she had nude acrylic on her nails that looked like she attempted to soak them off, but she got them done at a nail salon, and they were MMA, so of course she probably wasn't going to be able to do that at home alone. I politely told her for future references, like, if you did come that late, I probably wasn't going to take you unless you got your nails short. You wasn't going to be able to get a soak off, even if it was my work, if you didn't book it, because sometimes that takes up to 30 minutes. And I don't work over other people's work because now I'm soaking off MMA. Like, come on. So she tells me that she didn't know these things, even though these are things on my website. And y'all, my website is in the description box. You will see how simple my website is. Like, I try to make my website as simple as possible. And I don't normally have these issues. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, at this point, something had told me to turn her around. Something said, okay, she came late, that's not a problem, but she's clearly telling you that she didn't read the website. You probably should turn her around. But I decided not to. I still wanted to make my money this day, and I'm like, you know what? I got a little bit of time. This is gonna take away my lunch break, but cool, I'm not gonna trip. I asked her, you know what you're getting, so we're doing the 90 set. Do you know what color you want? She tells me, what's the 90 set? I'm like, oh my God. So I show her what the 90 set is, and she starts showing me other styles on my page of encapsulated glitter. And the encapsulated glitter looks nothing like the 90 set. And she's asking me, if these nails are the same as the 90 set, but visibly you could see these are two different sets. So I'm trying to like be professional as possible because I'm like, I can't tell if she's being serious or not. Like, you're showing me a plain solid nude set with rainbow colors versus like this iridescent encapsulated set. These are two different things. So I'm asking her, what does she want to get? Does she still want to get this? We're kind of short on time. Like, I need to know what we're doing. So she tells me the 90 set is okay. Then she tells me she doesn't want it. Then she tells me she wants this glitter set. Then she scratches that, tells me she wants this glitter set. I'm like, all right, let's just do this glitter set. So I'm getting out the glitter. Now she's telling me that the glitter I'm picking out is not the glitter that's in the photo. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie. I almost said, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I literally had to bite my tongue because I'm like, not that I've never, but it's been years since I've actually had like an encounter like this with a client. So I'm like, all right, let's just use the glitter you wanna use. You about to give yourself a whole new set that's not on my page, but that's cool. I'm doing her nails, and I guess after I applied that glitter and encapsulated it, maybe she's seen that, like I said, that was not the glitter that was in the picture. It was a completely different color. The glitter I used in the picture was white. She looked at something green, and I looked at her. I said, this is green. Are you sure? I personally think that the mixture she picked was really pretty. I'm not going to lie. I actually did like how the nails came out. But the whole time I was doing her nails, she kept flipping her hand around, getting up close, putting her nail to her eyeball. So I'm like, all right, well, now I can't tell if you like these nails or not. I asked her if everything were okay with them. I felt like she was trying to be nitpicky, but I mean, I've been doing nails for 5 years. Like, what are you going to nitpick on such a simple set? Like, it'll be different if this is something hand painted and you want this perfect and all the lines, but this is an encapsulated set. It's glitter and clear acrylic. I think at a point she asked me to add more like acrylic to the side of her thumb, which confused me because the cuticle application was flawless. And I was like, all right, I'll just put some acrylic on there and make her feel better, but I'm about to file it off, which wouldn't make sense. So at this point, I'm starting to get stressed out because I'm just not understanding like what the problem is with the nails. We finish her nails. It's time to do her toes, and she has like little pieces of acrylic on her toes, but it's nothing I can't file off. So for the toes, I normally use a milky white. I don't like the really pigmented white acrylic powder. I don't know. I can't with that powder. So after I'm finished doing one foot, that's when she asked me if I had a more solid white. Keep in mind, this white is pretty solid. Like, it's not milky, but it has a slight bit of milk to it. And I'm telling her, like, I'm sorry, like, this is the whitest white that I have. The other white, I just, So I finished her application, I finished the shaping, I thought everything was okay, and she was telling me to file down one of the corners. So before I filed down one of the corners, I wanted to debulk the nail a little bit. So I'm like, all right, I started debulking the nail so I could file it in the corner, and she keeps telling me like, oh, that's not what I mean, I'm not telling you to make it thinner. I'm like, I know that, but let me just debulk it a little bit so when I do file them down a little more, they don't look bulky at the free edge. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You can have some short, thin nails, start to file them down, and then you'll start to see it get like a little thicker right there. I know you know what I'm talking about, so I needed to file them down. So I finished her toes. She's grabbing her foot, putting her eyeballs against her toes, and I'm asking her if they're okay. She said that they were okay. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I don't feel like she was satisfied with her experience. And this was the day I was vlogging. Like, I have the complete vlog from this day, but it made me not want to post it because from then on, my appointments were so back to back, I barely had time to pick up my phone and record. I kid you not, once she was leaving, my next client was knocking at the door. I still needed to clean up, wipe my table down. I still had so much to do. And I was just irritated. And of course she didn't tip me. Of course not. And I'm sure she probably didn't enjoy her experience. Now, I'm not saying you have to tip, but 9 times out of 10, if you have a complicated client, you just know they're not going to tip you after they do all this extra stuff. And I really, really wanted to post that vlog, but I just wasn't too sure, y'all, because I'm not going to lie. I was starting to get an attitude, and I do love to keep it as professional as possible, but I think I was just more so upset at the fact that something told me not to take her and to turn her around. So I did ban her, and y'all, if something is telling you not to take that client, don't take the client. I'm sorry for the rambling, but I definitely just wanted y'all opinion on that. I feel like I tried to keep it as professional as possible, but I'm positive that she's seen I was upset with her. These rules are definitely placed there to avoid these situations, and I feel like I wouldn't have been as like irritated, but y'all, the whole appointment she was mumbling over the music. Like, I couldn't tell if she was talking to herself, if she was just reading out loud on her phone, if she was trying to sing the music. I don't know, it sounded real weird, and I'm like, let me not post this vlog because y'all can see me side-eye the camera because I'm like, God, please, I don't know what this lady is saying. Please protect me right now. I don't know what's going on. This is her first time here. But moving on, I am starting to seal the cuticle area and debulk the nails. That story was a little longer than I expected. But like I said, let me know down below how y'all feel about it. Whenever I'm debulking the nails, I always start in the cuticle area, and then when I'm finished in the cuticle area, I'll start to go down to the body of the nail, and I like to thin the nail out before I actually go back and reshape it. I just feel like it's easier if I feel like the nail is too thick to reshape it after I file it down. Once again, for reshaping the duck nails, I'm going to be applying most of the pressure towards the top of the nail because I don't want to accidentally make these a wide square. And currently, I'm starting to go over the surface of the nails using my 80/80 grit hand file. And I do still have to go underneath the nail back to that moon cut just to make sure that it still looks really good. For this part, very slowly, I'm going to go back underneath the nail and just do the same thing I did before in the beginning of the video with the sanding band. Just very slowly starting to curve my drill bit around the free edge. Before applying my designs, I did apply just a little bit of cuticle oil to all of my clients' nails. I am very lightly going to rub this in and then go in with my 80 grit buffer. So I like to do this because it gets the nails really smooth, but if you're going to do this, you'll have to clean the nails off with alcohol. I personally clean the nails off with alcohol and then let my clients go to the bathroom and wash their hands. For these designs today, they were very fun, real creative, and I did actually get a little bit of inspiration from a video I seen on TikTok. So for this first nail, I will be doing a deep French tip. For these longer duck nails, I prefer to do a deep French tip. This is actually the second time I did the French tip on this nail because the first time the smile line was a little too short and I just felt like a deeper one would look better. For the pointer finger and the ring finger, I did want to do like a airbrush design, and I personally am getting better at using the airbrush. But for me, when it comes to using softer colors in that airbrush, I don't know, y'all. I'm still kind of getting used to it. After I was done using the airbrush, there was some pink gel polish on her skin, so I actually used my acrylic brush dipped in some acetone to clean this up. I really wanted to do like the water droplet look, so I did go in with some matte gel polish first, just going over this whole nail. I'm going to allow this to cure for 60 seconds, and then I'm going to go in with my Macart diamond gel to create these really small raindrops. For the pinky and the thumb, I wanted to keep it just a little simple. So on the pinky, I will be doing a orange French tip, and on the thumb, I'll be doing a green one. So for this orange one, I've been seeing this design where it's not exactly like a tiger print or a zebra print. I don't really know what you call it, but I think it's real cute. Normally I see it done with a little bit of airbrush as well in the center, but I felt like this orange with some black designs would be cute, so I'm going to show you guys how I did this next. For this design, I was being very gentle. There was actually times where I was doing this design on the opposite finger and had messed up. So just take your time. I'm just creating these very light strokes going across the nail going down and across the nail. And after I let this cure, I'm going to go in with some 3D flowers. So this pretty much wraps up the video. I did leave the thumb pretty simple, just going in with one of these cross charms. They are really pretty. I love how these nails came out. My client loved her nails. And like I said earlier, y'all let me know down below how y'all felt about my little story time. I personally just wish I would have turned her around and rescheduled her versus trying to still take her and make my money for that day, and my schedule just got completely jumbled up. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this YouTube video. I know I did, and if you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in my next video.